Okay, so we're building the track today. Imagine that. We're in my wife's space right now, but she snuck out for the day, so we snuck in. So yeah, we set up the cameras and the lights, and we're gonna build a racetrack before she gets home. The idea of the track is it's 2 foot by 2 foot squares, and we've already got a design in mind. We're chopping up the foam strips into 2-inch strips just by using a little 2-foot plastic level as a guide. Of course, we're cutting over top of another mat, so we're not cutting a race surface. There's little tricks to get all this smoothed out. We'll go over that in a few minutes when we get there. But the idea is to build this track 2 foot by 2 foot squares. So when Jessie and I are done, and as soon as the dogs start barking, she pops in the driveway, we can quickly grab all the pieces, throw them together, and get the heck out of here before we get in trouble. So yeah, so mark those out 2-inch. Don't cut all the way through. If you cut them like that, you get like little accordion, and then you just set your blade and run them down. Now when you're doing this, Jessie and I were just discussing, if you want to keep your blade parallel to one of the two surfaces, you do not want to bend the surface and keep the blade like that through the middle, or else you'll cut a funny edge. The cars might catch on or something. You want to keep it as smooth as you can, right? So follow one edge and just go through. You will go through a few blades. This kind of plasticky surface on the back side of this stuff is pretty grippy, pretty stiff actually, so you can get right through the foam, no problem. This is kind of all we're cutting through right now is the surface layer. So we have a RCP track, the Mini 96 on order. We're just doing this right now because in the last week we have picked up 2 Mini Zs, and Jessie had one from
the 1970s?
Some time ago in the galaxy. Far, far away. There was an MRO2, Lancia Delta. Born to be with Jessie. I f***ed those two up. God damn it! So Jessie and I have decided on doing cut corners like this to, if the cars go into the corner, it's not just a square, they'll get bounced back, right? So, quickest way, show you a quick way to bang this off if you're doing this yourself. You're using 2 by 2 inch square foams. You don't want to measure these guys out here. You want to measure from the inside line because that's actually the edge of your square, right? That's your intersect line, right? So go from there to there. We got 22 and a half. Half of 22 and a half is 11 and a quarter. Mark this guy at 11 and a quarter all the way around. Super simple. There we go. Okay, now we can take our straight edge, mark that all the way across. So we don't need to cut through, we're just marking that right now. Mark all your lines. You could use a pen, but you're gonna have to cut these lines anyway, so you might as well just cut them in. Okay, so now that we have that cut, we know that our width is going to be 2 inches from the strips that we just cut, which was this as our template. Line this guy back up to the edge. Give yourself a nice little line all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now from these points here to here, you want to cut across to give yourself the corner piece. The reason why we left that overhang is for when you run your bumpers to your corner, it's all going to fit. You're not going to have a stupid step out. So now you take your straight edge, you go from there to there, and you cut that within the marks. Don't go past. Okay, we got all those done. See all the cut lines in there. We're gonna save the insides for our inside corners. We're gonna use the outside of the tile for our outside corners. And that's the sound of a dull knife. Okay, so now imagine this is the corner of the racetrack. Now we have that piece running there. We have this guy intersecting in. We're gonna cut that down and fit those guys together nicely in glue. So if you come smoke around the corner, you can still bounce off there. We can get crafty and we can also curve these out too. You do whatever you want. I'm just showing you how we're doing our bumpers. Some guys are going a lot higher with the bumper. We feel that the cars should be okay with the bumper. It's 1/2 inch tall and the cars are 3/4 of an inch tall, so we should be okay. Yeah, about an inch taller, so. They may get hit and flip over and tumble over, but hey, it's part of it, so. Okay, well that's the end of the track build, I guess, for today. We got 10 foot by 8 foot in this pattern with this really colorful border. We wanted the border to obviously stand out, so we went with the high color. The entire track cost us about 140 bucks to build everything, minus the glue sticks. So we're just cutting some laps on the car right now, getting the hang of it. First time driving a hand car style Mini Z for myself. I've always driven the all-wheel drive. We have it in training mode, so the car right now is half speed. That's a good way to throw down and start, so you can get some. Oops. So you can get some, just practice how the car responds, turns, and you guys can start finding your line on the track in training mode and not worry about modulating the throttle too much. Like I'm wide open every time I hit the throttle. You can start finding your line, see what the car's feeling like. Now, you know, this track is very small compared to, like, you know, a full-out racetrack for the Mini Zs, a lot larger ones, but perfect setup for the race, or perfect practice track. We got nice wide lanes, so 2 cars get around here, no problem. We have other bits of foam that we can put into the corners and add pieces. So you come around that corner and you can put, you know, a little chicane section in here if you gotta come around like, whoop. So you gotta come around the corner and then maybe go wide around a foam block and then come back, you know what I mean? So we can add all that stuff into it. That's the beauty of the foam. You just throw them down there and kind of change it up as you go. This track is glued in 2 foot sections. This track will be for sale. If you want to buy it, let us know in the messages. We have an RCP track coming. It's just we wanted to get something going right now since we had a few cars. So yeah, Jesse and I are going to do some practice, so check out some laps here. I'm going to put this thing back into sport mode and see if I don't die. before I